Hi everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. It was meant to be Anton doing the press conference, but you lucky devils, you got me instead. David Moyes and Jarrod Bowen have just finished their press conference ahead of the Europa Conference League semi-final clash, first leg against AZ Alkmaar at the London Stadium tomorrow night. Quite interesting-ish press conference. But as we do with the kneesupabrown.com boys in the Hammers headlines, all that type of stuff, the day before, we put together a synopsis of the press conference in order to give you what was said and my thoughts, and give you opportunity for you to say your thoughts as well. So let's start with Mr. Bowen, shall we? Mr. Bowen was obviously the first who took to the stand. Took to the stand. He's not been he's not being done for anything. I don't think so. And it started the conversation about the Man United game. Asked about it. He said it was massive, especially going to the semi-final. If we get back again, the game we had Arsenal before and gave us a lot of confidence. So the Man United result has given us confidence ahead of Thursday's game, as you would assume. Asked about the potential of maybe winning the Conference League. Obviously, with the semi-final stages, we got 1 in 4 chance of winning it. He said it'd be massive for everyone associated with the club. There are 2 legs. We have to get through the first one, but of course, we want to win the competition. We know it's going to be a tough game. They're a good side. We are at home first, but we can take the atmosphere to our advantage. It is massive. He keeps saying massive quite a lot. I've only been here 3 years, and I feel that a massive part. It says massive again of the club and a fan almost. I think from the whole club, it has not been a great season, but winning the Premier, but staying in the Premier, not winning it. Jesus, Russ, don't get ahead of yourself. But staying in the Premier League is the main aim. But winning the Conference League would be a great end of the season. And I think that's a fair synopsis of his views. I think, as you said, it hasn't been a great season. We know that. And but the Europa League, Conference League, same as last year, sort of kept the fans going, I think, particularly. And asked about the Europa League run, the Conference League this year, he said, I think even the last couple of years when you've been doing well, and even when we lost the games, spirits were still high, and we have kept that this season in Europe. We have used that, and we have done really well and got to another semi-finals, obviously 2 semi-finals in successive years. Asked about his form post-World Cup. Obviously, he didn't have a great, pre-World Cup, but post-World Cup, the main thing was when you come back from the World Cup to get us out of the position we're in. We are still not there yet, but that is the main aim for the club. Getting to a final is another aim for the club. I don't want to talk too much about the final because it will sound as if I'm disrespecting the opposition. They are a great team. Since the World Cup, I wanted to come and play with more freedom, playing my game and getting us out of the position that we have found ourselves in. And I think that's fair to say that maybe since the World Cup, he's definitely, as I said before, I think Bowen played himself off the plane the beginning of the World Cup, leading up to Gareth Southgate picking the squad. Post-World Cup, he has played a lot better, a lot more consistently. Maybe, I don't necessarily assume with more freedom, but maybe with more of a settled side. So people are sort of getting more into the rhythm that they've had previously. Asked about what it means to be, successive European campaigns. He was asked, we can learn from last year's semi-final for sure. We can take confidence from the group stages and our run in the knockouts this season. We can use the result weekend against Manchester United as a springboard as well. It will be a difficult game. There is a lot to learn from last year's run, but we have a lot of confidence going into the game. That's one thing I think, particularly over last year. Last year, I think we were very naive in Europe. Some of the teams we're playing were sort of well-established European sides, and we didn't have that sort of, we talk about the dark arts and things like that. I think that really benefited us into this year. We seem a lot more assured of ourselves, and a lot more awake to any funny business that the opposition could throw at us. I'm thinking back to that Lyon game with the Winker. Reports are claiming that we're apparently infamous of Dembele in the summer. So could the Winker return to West Ham? Who knows? Hopefully, he's a good player, but I don't know whether would you forgive him? Would you forgive the Winker if he ended up being in a claret and blue shirt? I don't know. That was Bowen done. He was off. He's off. And then obviously Moyes comes in and does his bit of the press conference. And obviously similar to usually other press conferences, there's some stuff which isn't necessarily broadcastable yet, but they do sort of a open session, so to speak, and that's usually what the club put out on the YouTube channel as well. Asked about team news straight away. That's what we want to know. He just says, Kurt has had a day back. He has just started back, and we are just seeing how his ankle is. There is a good chance that tomorrow is too soon, but we'll see how he is. Personally, I think it may be too soon to bring him back. I know he's a fast healer, but I don't think he'll be back for that. I think the Brentford game and maybe in the second leg, more realistically. And actually, I'm not being funny. Yeah, the weekend we kept Man United a clean sheet, against them, and we've Oggy and Aged. So I don't think you need to rush him back as yet. I think definitely for the second leg would be useful to have him, because we know what we have to do. Obviously, being two legs, there's a bit of a weirdness in terms of the atmosphere. I mean, last year Sevilla was such a good game because we knew what we had to do, whereas the Lyon and Eintracht Frankfurt games, arguably both were sort of half time. So it's like we couldn't really get too excited because it was only half the job done or half the job to go. So I think definitely for the second leg, hopefully Kurt will be back, which would be, again, incredible. As we know, he heals incredibly quickly, but then he gets injured incredibly quickly as well. So maybe just steer in the eye of caution there. I think there's himself, Soufal, obviously Scarmacca, probably three will definitely miss tomorrow, I would imagine. Asked about the Man United win as well, he just said, well, I don't think if you work to our advantage, it will work. I don't know if it will work to our advantage, but he's given us confidence. We've been missing at points this season. I'm hoping that we can get back that result up again and back up that result again. And that's basically what I think the Man United game is. It was a real confidence booster. The team looked totally different than they have done for massive parts of this season. I'm going to use the word massive again. Whereas maybe you're looking at AZ Alkmaar, they played Ajax away, 0-0 draw. Not a great game for them. It's quite boring. And we also know that they're going to be without their left back as well. We said that this morning, who's suspended because of yellow cards for a third one picked up against Anderlecht in the quarterfinals. Asked about, the potential of making a final. Ironically, today being 43 years since we won the FA Cup. And also 7 years since we left the bowling. But on the 10th of May, 1980, Trevor Brooking nodded in that header to beat Arsenal 1-0 at Wembley. And obviously that was the last time we won anything significant, albeit not including the Instones Cup in 1999, of course, but asked about making a final, the first one since obviously 2006 in terms of domestic final, but not a European final since the mid-60s. He said it'd be terrific to reach any final for any team is a big team. What is a big thing, I think you meant, David. Everyone wants to be successful, but we are trying. It was a great thing to reach the semis last year, and we are hopeful to get one step further and reach the final this year. I don't think we have hidden away from our ambitions of reaching the final, but when you get to the semis, you have another opponent you have to respect, because you don't get to the semis unless you are a good side. Do I want to get to the final? 100%, and I will do everything I can to get there. I think we can breathe a little easier because the result of the weekend as well. And that's, I think, was a key thing about the Man United game, particularly. Put up to 37 points. Realistically, we could go into the weekend not getting anything against Brentford and staying up. Mathematically, if Leeds or Leicester don't win, because then they'll be on 30 points, so they can get, Yes, if neither Leeds or Leicester win, and I think Leeds have got Liverpool at home, I want to say. I think Leicester have got Newcastle at home, so both tough games. So if neither of them pick up the wins, then the most they can get is 36 points, and we're on 37. So we're guaranteed to stay up then, because obviously Southampton, or I think max for Southampton's about 33. So that 3 points, I think, for a lot of people, was an unexpected 3 points. Some people may have taken a point. I thought we might nick a draw, but 3 points really does help alleviate some of that stress, mean that we can almost go, all balls out for the final, for the Europe semis to get into the final. And it's about momentum as well now, having that result against Man United, not just for the players, but the fans as well. It's going to be a sellout crowd tomorrow. We're going to have a hell of a lot of, all the, we'll have DJ Tony Perry, we'll have the fireworks, the light shows, we'll have a capacity crowd. It's going to be absolutely rocking at the London Stadium. Asked about momentum and the importance of it, Moyes is like, I remember Sir Alex Ferguson always said, this was the time of the year when you had to be at your best. I do believe we're playing some of our best stuff right now, and I hope we can show that in the coming games. And we do seem to be having this sort of upward trajectory. You know, we've had a couple of dips. It's not been a complete, you know, climb, nice steady ascent. We have a couple of dips. You know, there's been a couple of bad games, maybe since obviously the turn of the year, really. But you know, incrementally we are getting up, and hopefully we're getting to a head of steam just at the right time. It's like it's like the playoffs, isn't it? It's like the team that always get in last in the playoffs usually go up because they've got momentum. And indeed, you know, even if you watch the National League playoffs, I mean, you know, Notts County were right up there with Wrexham, and they had to go to they were 2-0 down against Boreham Wood. They ended up winning 3-2, an 120th minute winner to qualify for Wembley. So, you know, where they were like 100 points and just, you know, they were smashing it. But Boreham Wood were just getting in there, and they had momentum, and easily they could have knocked out Notts County, which would have been a real sort of heartbreak for their fans. But they managed to just eke it out. Asked about the Euro run and what it means to him and the team, he goes, it's incredibly difficult to win any of the major trophies with the standard of football you have to beat, teams you have to beat. I think what we did in Europe and the standards of the teams we had to beat the semi-final was a great achievement. You can't take European football for granted with so many teams trying to be in this position. And obviously, if we win the Europa Conference League, we go into the group stages immediately for the Europa League next year without having to qualify or anything. So that obviously guarantees that revenue as well, and guarantees us European football regardless of our league position, because we're not going to get that this year, are we? And also, a question was asked about must-win games, and it does seem when we've had a situation where maybe his job has been on the line potentially, or we need to win this game, or we need to get, it does seem to, we've been pulling these games out of the bag quite a bit. And asked about that specifically and about must-win games, he just said, I think we've had two really successful seasons over the past seasons. This year has been a bit disappointing, but in this competition we've been excellent. I think we have big players who have played in big games and big competitions, and this is as close to a big occasion as we can get at the moment, and it is where we hope the players stand up and showcase themselves. And if we play as we have over the last couple of games, then we give ourselves every chance of reaching the final. And I totally agree with Mr. Moyes there. I really do. I think, you know, we are sort of, it does seem momentum starting to build, albeit for about 5-6 months too fucking late, but it doesn't matter, to this crescendo. And I pray that we get there, because I just think the fans need it and the fans deserve it. Asked about the fans specifically, obviously we'll have over 60,000 of them there in the London Stadium tomorrow night, buzzing for it, really looking forward to it. He just said it's incredible in terms of support we get at London Stadium. There are very few fans that get the support. There are very few teams, Moyes, that can get the support of 62,500. I find that West Ham supporters are buzzing by the chance to get to the final, and we are hoping to get a step further. And that's basically what we all want, regardless of what side of the fence you're in, you know, whether you're in or out, we all want to get to the final. And that's the thing. That's what unites West Ham fans. We want to win something. I want to win something in my bloody lifetime. 43 years since we last won the FA Cup. I wasn't born then. I've never seen West Ham win anything apart from the Intertoto. But then 3 people won it, and we was away, and Mets didn't want any, and there was hardly any photos of us winning it, so it didn't really count in my eyes. So this is a huge opportunity now. As I said, we've got a 25% chance of winning the Europa Conference League, and then obviously guaranteeing European football. So I know it's going to be a great atmosphere as well. I just know it's going to be great. But the players need to respond, isn't it? That's what happened in the Man United game. The atmosphere was really good before kickoff, and then the players were starting to play, and they were going for tackles and crunching balls, and they looked up for it, and then the fans responded, and it's a two-way system. We can't keep chanting for 90 minutes unless there's something coming back in terms of, you know, invigorating us to chant. And that's this symbiotic sort of relationship between the fans and the players in terms of creating an atmosphere. And what an atmosphere it was on Sunday, and hopefully be replicated on Thursday night. And that's it, my friends. That's it. Then they went off, and yeah, all that good stuff. And for the channel members, you'll be getting John T. Coleman's synopsis of the transfer window of the press conference later on this evening, and then tomorrow we have all the stuff ready for the game. For the game, we'll have our predicted 11s. Holly's going to have her 10 things you didn't know about the AZ Alkmaar side, including their nickname, which is quite an unusual nickname. And then we will have a live late lunch outside the stadium with me and Anton. And Anton in person. You get the dynamic duo. I don't know about the framing. He's about 6'5", and I'm 4 foot nothing. So he may have to squat for a couple of hours, for an hour or so, just so he doesn't look too silly, like bloody the two Ronnies, or twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. I'll let you decide which one was which. And then we'll be doing our sort of review of the game immediately after outside the stadium as well. So loads of stuff. So the way you can make sure you don't miss anything is by hitting the subscribe button and becoming a subscriber, hitting the bell notification so you don't miss anything. Make a little cheeky comment. Don't forget to visit the kumb.com. Fantastic forum, fantastic chat with the guys. Very, very, if you want your finger on the pulse in terms of what's happening at West Ham, check on kumb.com. And until then, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm, stay dry. Keep the faith. Come on, you bloody irons. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.